What's going on? PM Vlogs. So, got this, talked about this in in yesterday's video, or day before yesterday's video. Tell you what, this thing has been an absolute blast. If you're not sure what it is and you can't read, it is the DJI MAVIC Mini. It is, I believe, their smallest quadcopter, drone, whatever you want to refer to it as. I've been having a blast with this thing. Flew it, I've probably, I feel like I've flown more than I really have, but I've only pretty much gone through 3 batteries, right now. About 30 minutes of flight time per battery, so about an hour and a half worth of flying in the last, day and a half. Kind of yesterday had some windiness to it, and I would have flown more, but with the wind. And today we had a little bit of snow, sleet mix, so that really didn't happen. Flew a little bit today though, about 1 battery today. But I mean, this thing it's just been a blast. Out of the box, easy to fly. Did the little tutorial that they have in the app. Did that. Practiced a little bit beyond that. And I mean, ever since I've been just, practicing, just going around the backyard, practicing, kind of maneuvering around things. Not just relying on my sight and what the drone is doing when I give it, go forward or back or left or right, but trying to actually use some of the data that it gives you on the screen with like your direction and stuff like that, using that to help me navigate where the drone is at. Not so much where the drone is at, but how I need to fly it to get it to go where I need it to go. Like if I'm standing by the back of the house and it's at the back of the yard, knowing, okay, do I need to go left or right and then forward, or do I need to just go forward, or what do I need to do? Kind of just doing some practicing, because granted I could look at the screen and rely on the video, but if for some reason the video cuts out or it becomes damaged, just practicing different things and just picking skills and just kind of building my skills with it. And also just doing a ton of research, reading up on different things. I'm looking at doing the Part 107 licensing. There are a few things that I need to figure out before doing that. Granted, it's one of those that I'll probably end up doing it and just dealing with because from my understanding at this point is, and I'm actually going to come back to this cage being on here. But my understanding is when you fly commercially or under a commercial license, there are certain things that you can do with that license you can't do with a recreational just license, or not being licensed. And there's things that you can do as a recreational hobbyist pilot that you can't do when you're commercial. So there's a few things I just want to research and find out what the difference is as far as what you can and cannot do. But obviously, if you need the commercial license, then you need it. And my main reason of getting it is with the photography stuff that I do, that if somebody or me says, hey, we could get a really cool shot doing this, or, doing something that ends up being like, if I have a friend that's selling their house or that's wanting to do something and says, hey, can you come and video this for me with your drone? I don't want to do it and then end up getting into some kind of trouble. I also need to look at, do I need to carry some kind of insurance once I have the Part 107 licensing? Just a lot of logistic things to work out. And talking about this cage, so one of the things, and the entire time I've had this, it's just constantly just reading and learning new things and finding out new information I didn't know before. But so this drone, I think it says, yeah. Will it get it? Yep. So it is 249 grams, and that, my initial interpretation and understanding of it was that when, that basically they count 249 grams as a flyable configuration. But apparently that is not how it is actually done. It is basically with this cage, guard, prop, protector, whatever you want to refer to it as, with that on there, you are approximately, I think from what I remember reading, was 258 grams. So you are over the limit, so you do need to register it and put numbers on it and stuff like that. Not a big deal. It's like $5, no big deal. The only thing I'm kind of looking at is for people that are going with Part 107, do I get that number, and then that number would then later on become my number under the 107, or this drone would just always be that number, and then it would just be moved over or something? I don't know. So there's stuff like that I want to find out. Or can you go in and, hey, I'm planning to go Part 107. I have this drone. I need to register it. Can I register it in? Just logistical stuff I need to figure out. But one thing I do want to show you, I want to show you where I've been flying, and it's kind of cool. So let's take a walk. And it's cold outside, and I don't feel like throwing a jacket on, so we're just going to look through the mini blinds here in the door. But yeah, this is where I've been flying in this yard, and I've been keeping it below the fence level just because, let's see if I can, these blinds kind of don't work all that great. It's one of those ones with the little slide control thing. But yeah, I've been flying around the yard, just keeping it between, let's see if I can maybe point, just pretty much going, around, coming back here, kind of flying back, just kind of doing circles, going across, diagonal, whatever. Flying over by that shed in the back, and over by that little jungle gym right here. Right next to that grill, kind of in this vicinity has been where I've been taking off, launching from, or taking off from. Did manage to fly up about 50 or 60 feet yesterday. Right now it is actually really snowing. Nothing on the ground, but it's snowing. Yeah, you can kind of see it on the camera if you look at some of the darker spots, like in the trees and stuff. But yeah, took it about 50 to 60 feet. There's actually mountains over behind those houses, like a good distance, but went and took it up and got a really cool picture of the mountains. Wow, it is actually like really snowing pretty good. It doesn't snow where I'm from, so yeah. But that has been my my experience with the drone, and yeah, camera toppling over. Hello. There we go. Yeah, so been having a lot of fun with it, and I will say, if you're looking at the Mavic Mini, or you're looking at any of the, I would assume all the DJI line of quadcopters and stuff is probably about the same level in flyability or ease of flyability. I highly recommend it, for the price, for what it doesn't have everything that the other ones do, but at the price point, it starts getting to be, well, it doesn't have this, I wish it had that, but when you start putting all that in there, then you start getting out of that 249 gram weight, and you start getting out of that $400 for the base kit, $500 for the Fly More combo as of January 2020. So it kind of, it starts to be, That moment you look at your camera and realize that you had your EV compensation turned up a little bit. Whoops. Or exposure comp, whatever. Yeah. So if you're looking at one of the DJI drones or the Mavic Mini, I highly recommend them. Like I said, I'm considering doing the Part 107. Yeah. There was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was. So, oh yeah. One other thing I was going to talk about. If you see over here, right there, you want to adjust for the exposure, please? My A7 II with the 28mm lens. Switching to, geez, this little Sony stand is very wobbly. X100F up for sale, and the A7 II with the 28mm lens. That's going to be my travel or daily kind of walking around camera. My X100 is still my pocket really take anywhere camera, but for street photography and everything else, this setup is now my go-to instead of the X100F. And obviously, like I mentioned earlier, with being into this, I'm really looking forward to doing some drone video on the way, on a return drive home. Didn't have it coming up here, but at some rest stops and stuff. I think it might be kind of cool to get some different footage and whatnot and play around with it. So, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a good one.